do it?
$20 a pop, guaranteed fresh.
I've got to see what I'm buying. What does a Polish girl get that's long and hard when she gets married?
A last name!
Oh, you heard that one, huh?
A funny thing happened to Lila Kritzik on the way to cooking dinner for her husband.
Lila!
Yes, dear.
What? If you have a question, your hand has been up as long as I've been here. You're turning blue, Sam. Why is that? Oh, good God, I'm standing on his arrow.
A funny thing happened to Stephen Gold on his way to becoming a heart surgeon.
Mr. Gold. Was this on the prep sheet?
Gee, Dad, I'm not going to be a heart surgeon like you or my brother after all, but I am going to be a star.
He wants to be a comedian.
Well, let's see. We just got these x-rays back from the lab. Let's take a look.
She wants to make people laugh.
I want to learn.
Lady it takes every night. 6 clubs a night, all night.
You have appliances in today's age? I hope this is for a sore shoulder. And I don't want to be intimate with anything that has a 90-day warranty.
And if he's not careful, she just might beat him to the punchline.
You're on the list.
What contest?
Where the winner gets a shot on the Carson show.
Sally Field, Tom Hanks, in the critically acclaimed motion picture, Punchline. Now is the time for serious comedy.
What does that mean?
I was hoping you would know.
Punchline from RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video.
Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and I don't want to be intimate with anything that has a 90-day warranty. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister in the coast of Dorking Out, Margot D.
I don't hate debutantes.
That's such a good impression.
That's been bugging me since 1988. Got it out my system.
We are dorking out about 1988's Punchline, written and directed by David Seltzer. I'm glad I didn't mispronounce the Seltz.
We're a little trippy, y'all.
Oh, boy. And it stars Sally Field, Tom Hanks, John Goodman, and Mark Rydell, who is a director of other movies. Oh, Damon Wayans shows up in there. Paul Mazursky's in there. Mazursk. Let's start like we always do, my friend. Did you see this movie in the theater?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was excited because I loved comedy specials. I watched HBO comedy specials, and there used to be on TV, A&E had a show.
Yep.
And this is before they had Comedy Central, and I was totally in the fucking bag. I love Tom Hanks. I love Sally Field. I'm a New Yorker. I'm like, this is going to be awesome.
Yes.
And it fucking pissed me off because it's not. But it's going to be fun to make fun of.
Yes. I also, for y'all who don't know, like the 80s were like, it was like stand-up fucking boom. Like everything.
Yeah.
Everything was about stand-up. It was all these stand-up specials on like HBO, and like there was a local one here in San Francisco hosted by Alex Bennett.
Yep.
And, you know, there was the A&E one with the brick wall behind them.
Bud
Freeman. Yes, and it was a lot of, what's the deal with grape nuts?
What happened was discos were really popular, and then discos lost disco faded away, and all these clubs had a space, and all you had to do was put a microphone and a chair, and a spotlight. Not even that sometimes, and you could just say, it's a stand-up night, and they could even say it's open call,
open mic nights,
mic nights. So like they didn't even pay them.
Correct.
They would and a lot of places started enacting the 2-drink policy, minimum. So you had to sit there for a while and drink your watered down shitty drinks. But it was fun there's so much to discuss, like what was funny in 1988 versus now. But
correct.
Let's go.
Yes. Yeah. So in the movie, Sally Field is a housewife in New Jersey. She's married to John Goodman. She's got 3 kids. And she wants to be a comedian. And then we have Tom Hanks' character, who is flunked out of medical school. His dad thinks he's still in med school, and he is working as a stand-up comic at night, and he's, I want to say, a real dick.
Does he just not have a diagnosed cocaine issue that we're not told about?
I don't know.
Because he is moody as fuck.
Yes, he is. And so the movie opens with Sally Field's character buying jokes from someone, and we're supposed to think it's like a drug deal, but it's actually she's buying jokes, and the jokes they're terrible. They're terrible jokes.
Borscht Belt.
Yes, it's really bad. And immediately this movie turns me off because the idea that a stand-up comedian would buy jokes is gross to me. Because it's, to me, here's what I think, and this is very naive maybe. I would assume that a comedian has a point of view. And
they should.
And that they have a point of view and they have something they want to say, and that's why you get into comedy. But she isn't that at first. She is, I just want people to laugh. So she's buying the jokes. And they're not funny, and it's not working.
They're not funny, and it's really infuriating because people already have, still to this day, that fucked up notion that women aren't funny.
Yes.
But especially a middle-aged woman, what could be amusing about her at all or relatable? And she's instantly, like you said, even though it was nice, I worked with Paul Mazursky. He was an R.I.P. He was a really lovely man. I always like to see him, but like this was bullshit.
Yeah.
This was it just starts that way. Okay, first of all, so she meets Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks is the cock of the walk, right?
Yes.
He's supposed to be the best out there. And Tom Hanks is very funny. Tom Hanks is very engaging in movies with sometimes very problematic, themes.
Yes.
But he's so charismatic.
Yes.
You just like him.
Yes. And
even when he's being a dickhead.
Yes. And this is before like Tom Hanks was like, Tom Hanks! Like,
it's for the Academy Awards.
Yes. Like he actually was Big, came out the same year, and he was nominated for Big, but Forrest Gump, Philadelphia, the
90s Hanks is different from 80s
Yes.
Hanks. 80s Hanks was like him with another person. He either played the straight man or he was the goofball.
Yes, like the year before this was like Dragnet, which I love Dragnet. We'll talk about Dragnet someday.
Yes.
Turner and Hooch,
which I love, by the way, even even cry my eyes out.
Even Splash, or
Splash is great.
Bachelor Party. This is a different kind of Tom Hanks, and he is playing a really unlikable prick in this movie. I don't like Stephen Gold. That is his name.
And maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
Okay. Now there should be also. Speaking as we're not millennials, in case you can't tell.
Yes.
So we've been around the block, but there used to, like I said, there was this comedy boom, and there were just people going anywhere to see comedy. You were just dying to see it.
Yes.
Because it wasn't around all the time. So there was this big path for a whole swath of mainly white dudes in their 20s going on stage and just doing their thing. And it's still to this day, there's this whole, like, if you're edgy, it means it's funny. You're dangerous.
Yes.
You're thinking whatever. But this Steven guy is like rarely funny. It's just like he's just making observations and we're just supposed to think it's hilarious.
I didn't think almost none of the like comedy routines in this movie work for me. And this is a problem that we've seen in other movies and TV shows when they talk about comedy. The shit's not funny. Like,
right.
And so it's hard to buy them. Is it like, I don't watch Marvelous Miss Maisel consistently, but I did watch the first season. Her stand-up was pretty funny.
Yeah, and she had they just finished the show. They had Lenny Bruce on with her. So he and Midge, that's the lead, had a romance. And Lenny Bruce, who's not my favorite, I always thought was kind of dated. But when they're playing his stuff, before he got hooked on heroin, but it was funny. But it was his presentation. And then her last episode, where it ends, like, spoiler, but she has like a really big gig and it changes her life. Mm-hmm. She's hilarious, and it really works. And they had comedians working on it. He had comedians working on this script with him.
Yes,
but I think he's motherfucking Tom Hanks.
Yes.
He's bosom buddies and big and Dragnet, like you said. He was famous,
Yes.
and when a famous actor gets a role, I think Michael J. Fox plays that in a movie with James Woods where he's an actor playing a cop. Like, they do get this thing, like the people around them, like, oh my God, I'm so excited to be around you. I'm just going to give you all the light and shine, and I'm going to tell you how great you are. And like, this material's not great.
No, it isn't. And almost all of the humor in this movie is like, there's a lot of like really shitty, like racist accent humor, you know, a lot of like, I'm married to a Polish man, you know, take my husband, please. Like, you know, that kind of humor. It is a testament to Tom Hanks and Sally Field that you like these characters at all. Like the Sally Field character, Lila, you're supposed to like her. Like, they give her likable things. Stephen Gould's a miserable prick through this whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
And
she's trapped. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say the stakes are actually pretty low in this movie, but they're treated very seriously.
Well, there's a whole thing, and I didn't post this on TikTok. I will. I had to wind it back a few times to watch, because the whole thing is that they're trying to get on the Tonight Show.
Yes.
Or the version of the Tonight Show they can mention, right? So they all want to get that. If I get that one shot, and it was true, Drew Carey, Ray Romano, Roseanne, like they all were stand-up comics who got a comedy series. And it was back when syndication money was sweet. So you had a show on the air for like 200 episodes. You were gold.
But Carson was the guy who could like anoint you. Like you would get a stand-up set on the Tonight Show, and if you were really funny, he'd invite you to the couch, and
your life changed.
Yes.
Your life changed. You would get an agent and a manager, and all these people would line up for meetings with you. It was a thing. You and I watched Letterman like in the 80s. And that's how I watched my comedy too. Like that's how I got it. So here they're all like, we're going to be at this shitty club.
Yes.
And we're all going to compete to be on a TV show. A very like rare occurrence, very tough to get. And none of them are good enough. Even then, when you have good people like Damon Wayans is not allowed to do anything.
Yes.
For whatever reason, like none of the women comics are funny. They have like this. They have an old guy that we're all supposed to feel sorry for.
Yeah, there's a man dressed as a nun.
Oh, the nun.
Yeah, it's so stupid. There's oh my gosh,
there's the pizza guy from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, there's the guy who was a history teacher that like his students think he's funny, but he's not funny. And I was like, none of these people would make this show. None of them. The only people who would make the show would be the Tom Hanks character, I guess, because we're told he's funny. And then Sally Field's character, because she is very much of the like Roseanne Barr type. Like her humor was very much like my husband's this and my kids are that, and like it's.
But the thing was is that fine. It's fine, but okay, Roseanne's crazy now. We're not talking about Roseanne's comedy now.
Correct.
Let's go back to then, and she's talking about things that I don't relate to, having kids and laundry. I know what they are. I do my own laundry, but I don't know what that's like. But she was so damn funny.
Her delivery
was great.
Yes.
And she was just be like, if my husband gets home and nobody's killed, I've done my job.
Yes, exactly.
That was how but she worked her ass off.
Yes.
Doing gigs in Denver, I think. And then she moved to San Francisco. I mean, it takes a long time to be a stand-up in New York. And then it's like, Lila is her name, I think, right? Lila Cripshank or something, whatever. But she's like, you've got to do shows all the time, every night. How are you going to do that with your husband and your young kids? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, she steals money from the cookie jar and then to buy these $100 for those jokes.
For jokes. It's so
you
stupid.
Have no sense. You have no sense. You would be killed in show business right away. Like you are just a mess. It doesn't make sense. And then, like you said, Tom Hanks's character, we're supposed to think he's, poor guy. He does the whole thing like, I know this guy named Tony Chen and he did a bus tour, but he doesn't know New York. And then he does this Asian accent that's like, Oh my God.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so fucking offensive. But it is very 80s.
but it is. It's very who am I thinking of? He was on Alex Bennett's show all the time. Bobby Slayton. It's very
Oh
Bobby
my
Slayton,
God, Bobby Slayton, yes.
the pit bull of comedy.
Yes,
he would do shit like that. But even then, it was like, ugh.
Yeah, there's a couple of different movies going on in this movie too.
Yes.
Because so we have Sally Field, whose character's buying jokes at the beginning, and she is trying to like navigate like home life and and trying to be a comedian. So there's that story. Then there's like Tom Hanks' character who is flunking out of medical school and is hiding the fact that he is a comedian from his dad. Both of these are played for like Sally Field stuff is played mostly for comedy and then super dramatic. Tom Hanks stuff is very dramatic all the time. And I was like, dude, you're coming out as a comedian to your dad. This is not a big fucking deal. Like,
You're 32 years old,
Yes.
by the way.
Yes,
Like, it's time to live your own goddamn life.
yes, he is. He's a grown ass man who's like, guess what? I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a comedian. And he like can't fucking deal with it at all and like loses his shit on a stage in front of an audience with his dad in the audience, and it's so awkward and shitty, and I felt so bad for that audience in this moment because I'm like, these people went out for a good time. They paid
Go
for
to a comedy club
babysitters.
to laugh. Yes, it's a whole thing.
And they go and they watch Tom
In
Hanks
preparation.
have
Yes.
a nervous breakdown on the stage because his daddy's in the audience because he doesn't know he's a comedian. It's so stupid. And then the stuff with sorry everyone, I'm just being ranty now, but like Sally Field,
It's Ranty Margot and Ranty Sonia.
Yes.
That's what it is.
the stuff with Sally Field, and she's married to John Goodman, who starts the movie as just such an angry prick. And then by
He's
the
an
end, and then by the end of the movie, he is lovable John Goodman. And I'm like, could we have had a little bit of lovable John Goodman at the beginning so that we could understand his frustration? So that when he's nice again at the end, we would be like, oh, he finally gets it. But at the same time, I'm like, this is not a big deal. Like, girl, just, hey, 2 nights a week. If you want to do comedy, do it 2 nights a week. You coordinate with your husband. He watches the kids. Like,
Right.
who cares? But they don't do that. Instead, she like commits to things that she can't do.
Right.
Over and over. It's like, I'm going to be at the club every night and make dinner and not watch my kids. It's like, if you just fucking said what you were going to do and did them, this would not be a problem.
You have people coming over to dinner at 6:30 sharp.
Yes.
This is for your husband's business. He said he's worried about money. He's taking money out of a cookie jar and flipping the fuck out. So money is a problem, right?
Yes.
Why is she running around Queens with Tom Hanks?
Yes.
When she has dinner like coming up in just a couple of hours, and then it's the whole.
Oh my God. That's literally the music, by the way. You're not even joking. That's the music
No.
they play. It's
Right. If you don't get it, that she's in a rush.
yeah.
And they don't speed it up. Like they're doing almost in real time,
No,
putting on
so
pantyhose and putting
so
on clothes.
stupid.
It's like, it's so dumb. And it just, of course, he's bringing over a priest and another,
Of course he's bringing over a priest. And what do you think's going to happen at the dinner?
The daughter says cocksucker.
Yes.
Which did make me laugh.
But there's like a whole thing where like, and of course the water's not working in the house. So she has to like take water from the fish tank. And I'm like, that's repulsive. That's repulsive.
This woman has no sense. She has no sense of comedy. I worry about the children. I understand her husband's frustration. He's like, my life is a drag and I'm selling insurance, but I'm trying, to put a roof over everybody's head and be steady.
Yes.
And you're being a flibberty gibbet and spending all your money on cabs from New York to Jersey. I mean, why isn't she starting at clubs where she is? There's clubs everywhere. You don't have to go to New York.
Yes. But they make him look like such a dick, right? Because they're just like,
right.
She's like, what do you want? And he's like, a wife. And that makes it sound like he's like, and I just, you know, like, you have to be home all the time and you have to take care, you have to do these things. And it's like, they're purposely making him look like a dick when really, like, she's telling him, I'm doing these things, and then she's not doing these things.
She's lying to him.
Yes.
And she's lying to her kids. She's lying to herself.
Yes.
She's trying to live this double life. And of course he's annoyed because they can't, obviously, these kids can't be left with her. Like, does he have to get in help? I don't know. There's 2 or 3 kids. Like they mentioned, there's another kid.
There's another kid who's like, sometimes she's there and sometimes
she's not. It doesn't make any sense. But then the whole thing is like, we're supposed to feel sorry for Tom Hanks because he's somebody who's like just so up and down. He's got his daddy issues and shit. And all I can think is,
he's really talented if he could just get his break.
Right?
Like, I'm all, is he though?
Is he? And like I said, 32 years old. Time to stop living off your daddy's teat.
Yes.
And the money that comes from that. Like, get a day job like everybody else.
Yeah, boo-hoo. Like, oh no, I had to, like, I might have to get a real job. So
or I have to wait tables or be a bartender someplace.
Yes.
Boo-hoo.
And it turns, you know, and they hint at, like, how shitty he is to people. Like, he clearly, like, fucked that waitress just because he needed a place to stay. Or, you know, he doesn't pay his roommates, so they've locked him out. It's like, dude, seriously, just wait tables. Like, get a fucking job. He's incapable.
You have cash in hand. You would have cash in hand after a shift. He owes somebody $300, and he's screaming like, "I can't get that money!" Like, well, whose problem is that? Not mine.
Exactly. And he's
such a dick.
So she's hanging out with him when she should be preparing for this, like, dinner for the priests, because of course you're having priests over. But she's hanging around Steven, and Steven's like, I'm here, come with me to this, like, hospital stand-up act. I was like, why is he performing at a hospital? First of all,
aren't these people suffering enough? First of all, like, you're doing your Shecky Green bullshit.
Poor people.
Like this low rent Don Rickles comes around.
All of them are.
Wallace is there. Did you see that?
Well, they're all really enjoying the show because they're all high on drugs. They're all on pain meds. That's why they're like,
they're having.
Yeah, seriously, that's hilarious. And but then they want us to think he's a good guy, so they show him, like, talking to a sick kid, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Why is that even in the movie? I don't know why that's in there.
And you can just pick up anybody's chart, read it, and know what's going on in 2 seconds.
Yes,
I mean. There's that, and then there's a whole thing. We're supposed to get the idea of a relationship between these two.
Yes,
like he's getting okay. She gets also Susie Essman, who trained Sally Field, who's a legitimately funny person.
Yes, she is a hilarious person.
Terrifyingly funny woman, just hilarious. And not Larry Sanders. What am I thinking of?
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yes. Thank you. But she's the hairdresser.
Yes.
And Sally Field goes in there with perfectly fine hair. And then it's like, what do I do with this? And they're like, let's pretend it's 1979. And we're going to give you a horrible perm and color the fuck, make your hair poop colored.
The fuck did they do?
What? And there's, and it's like, it's astonishingly bad. She should have had, like, longer hair or something and then do something wacky with it, like a bouffant or something, but they just, and she's so cute. She even kind of can sell it, kind of. Yeah. But it's just it's a dumb thing. So then they have this contest. Mm-hmm. And they have, I remember comedians telling me they always think it's hilarious that this place had lockers. They're like, they don't have lockers for you.
Like it's fucking high school.
Yeah. Like you're on the soccer team, as you put your backpack and your shit in there and then lock. It'd be filled with drugs. Like, of course not. They wouldn't do that. It's comedians in the 80s. They're all fucking high as fuck. But so they're going to be trying out for this, and the setup is just bizarre. But Sally Field, she has a couple of scenes where she does the routines that she's doing the audience work. You and I've talked about audience work before.
Sometimes
I can take it in small doses.
Yes, it can be like that. Is so much of that was her routine, was audience work, and that can be so hit or miss. There is a whole thing where, like, they they go out like late at night and go to an open mic night, and the Steven character, the Tom Hanks character, teaches her not to rely on her shitty jokes and instead like do her like kind of her mom routines and her open mics, you know, the like interacting with the audience and all that. And she, I don't know, she kind of finds her rhythm, I guess, you know, and we get to actually see her like actually make a few jokes that actually make you go, huh, that was funny, if not laugh out loud.
If I were there, okay,
Yeah.
I'd give her pity laughs. I mean, she's really working.
Yeah,
she's not phoning it in. She's really trying.
Yeah, and then at that point they start to hint that there is like a romantic element to their relationship, and
he's doing like dancing, singing in the rain, like
Okay.
outside the booth that she's in.
yeah,
Knowing
okay.
she's married with kids.
So twice he like, well, first he kisses her in the cab and she's like, bye. And then another time, like he calls her house, bullies her into meeting him. He shows up, he's wearing like some sort of suit, and he is basically like, you should leave your husband and run away with me. And at no point is this treated remotely seriously by her, and I'm glad, because that would be
Right.
really, really dumb. The idea that she's going to like leave her husband and her family for this comedian with a dark side would be really fucking terrible. But then they do this singing in the rain thing, which I guess I could say is I think might be the best thing in the movie, but it's fucking weird and out of place in this movie because it's
If
so
this were,
dark.
like, if it's in Joe versus the Volcano,
Yes.
that'd be one thing, because that movie is just trippy. That's another movie we have to discuss.
Yes.
That's an amazing film, but it's trippy. It's supposed to be grounded in reality.
This part is so,
And it's bizarre.
it's so dark. And that's when I'm just like, what is this movie trying to do? Like, he is dark, and that is a fucked up dark scene. But then it's also like her like taking water from a fish tank and throwing bread at her kids, and I'm like, what is this movie?
It's a premise, and then they just try to make 3 acts out of it. It's Tom Hanks. What if he's a cop?
Yeah.
What if he's a cop with a dog? What if he's a cop with Dan Aykroyd? You get the idea. What if he's a kid?
Yes.
Well, what if he's a comedian? Because everyone thinks he's so funny, and he's always on the talk shows, and everyone thinks he's so hilarious. And I looked at the IMDb. There's actually a clip of Tom Hanks warming up at, Catch a Rising Star, or
Yeah.
whatever, the comedy, whatever, in LA. And of course, Chris Rock's like, he's the funniest stand-up I've ever seen. I'm like, oh, shut the fuck
Yeah,
up,
shut up, Chris Rock.
Shut
By the
your
way,
fucking mouth.
Tom
come
Hanks
on.
and Sally Field, they're both funny people.
They're funny people, and they're engaging, and their charm is selling a lot of stuff that isn't on the page.
Yes.
And the setup isn't there. Like, they are selling it. They're both giving it their all. But look, I'm talking to somebody who could never do stand-up comedy. That
There's a
terrifies
difference
me.
between funny and stand-up comedian.
Right. And you go
I-
to open mic
yeah.
nights, you find that out quickly, because people that are the most hilarious person in their office.
Yes.
And I also hear a lot that sometimes people kill which is what it's called.
Yeah.
You kill or you die. You die on stage. And I've died teaching.
So violent.
But when you're up in front of people, I can only know this because I was an instructor, and when you just you get in front of an audience and it's just not gelling,
Yeah.
and they're kind of looking bored, and they're looking at their watch, or they're kind of like, it is like dying. You're just like, I just want to get the fuck out of this room.
Yeah,
right now,
you want to
but
crawl
can't.
under a rock. It's
Crawl under a rock, and there's a lot of like stuff like that here. What was my point? But he never. When he does his comedy, has this big moment at the end, and we're all meant to think that Sally Field, all of a sudden, what's it been, like 2 weeks?
yeah, she's gotten like she's fucking Joan Rivers by the end of this thing.
Right.
Over the period of like 2 weeks, she's gone from like a total fucking hack to being Joan Rivers. Like, it's ridiculous.
And then he follows her, and his stuff, I don't care. And he's just, at some point, it's just somebody yelling. And it's what I have a problem with some podcasts where
Yes.
I've always called the 3 dudes yelling. The one comes with kind of a joke, and the other one then swoops in like, William Shatner. Oh, I'll tell you, Leonard Nimoy. Oh, I'll tell you, Scotty. Like, they Right. It just piles on. And like, that's not just funny. You're just yelling things. And that's what he's doing. And at one point, I'll never forget this because he screams debutantes like 10 times. I don't hate debutantes. He's spitting out of his mouth. It's flying out of his mouth. And I'm like, who gives a shit about debutantes? What power do they have over anybody who's not in New York? Or, you know what I mean? Except for super rich people. That's nothing relatable about it.
No.
There's no Paris Hilton. She's a little baby at this time.
Yeah, fuck that Paris Hilton baby.
Yes.
She sucks. Fuck her.
The girl with a little bottle in her hand, wearing a little pink.
She's trash.
Onesie.
Let's burn it all down.
No, but it's seriously like there's no reason for what are you even talking about? No late night audience would give a shit. They should be appealing to maybe like 20-somethings and college kids. Like that's going to be their main money. And there's nothing there for that. But he's like, we're all supposed to be like, oh my God, that was magnificent. And then the kicker is Sally Field wins.
Yes. And then is like, no thanks. Like,
yeah, she just tosses it away. Like, it's going to happen again.
Yeah, she just throws it away because she's like, no, definitely Tom Hanks deserved to win. And I have plenty of time. Girl, you don't. You are practically over the hill in terms of Hollywood ages.
Well,
like,
and in a few years, you're going to play his mother in a movie.
Yes, exactly. Seriously, 5 years later, she's playing Tom Hanks's mom in Forrest Gump. Like, no.
Hollywood's not great. And then Steven, I'm like, okay, what do you think happens after the movie? When does he die? When does he completely ruin himself and die?
Oh, he doesn't even become a thing. Like, he probably doesn't even make it to Carson, is my prediction.
Right.
He self-sabotages constantly. Like, he would probably blow it before he even got to he wouldn't even make it on the show.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But his stand-up is not funny, and that's a huge fucking problem when your movie's about stand-up comedians, and none of your comedians are funny.
And there are funny people in that cast. I said George Wallace is in there. Damon Wayans is hilarious.
Yes, Barry Sobel.
Living Color. Barry Sobel. Okay, we have to talk about Barry Sobel. He was on all the specials at the time.
Yes.
And he had his own routines. He did a couple of them. But I'm not someone named Shecky. I'm not Run DMC at Susu Studio. He had his own bits. And and in this movie, and this is, I think, kind of correct, because there's this guy, this nebbishy looking guy, like, he's the big star. But yeah, that can happen easily.
A
comedy person that looks like him and has his charm.
Yeah.
But I remember when they were promoting this movie, Tom Hanks and Barry Sobel were on Oprah's show.
Mm-hmm.
And they were both trying to like josh with each other the whole time. And the audience is filled with like, Oprah fans. So they're like, that's great. But I remember like, this movie's going to suck. I was really worried. And yeah, it did.
It did.
Really,
it did. It is not a good, it's just not a good movie.
No, I am shocked when I read on IMDb all the people that are like, this is my favorite movie. They're really upset with us right now if they're listening.
Yeah, and that's a huge red flag for me if this is your favorite movie, because, I would be curious what is working for them. Do they think the comedians are funny in it? Do they like that Tom Hanks is playing this brooding dark prick with And here's the thing, like, again, with the multiple movies going on here, if they had not included the Sally Field storyline, if this had just been about Tom Hanks's character, we're talking about, like, a lot of comedians are fucked up. They're fucked up on the inside. They're, they're the crying on the inside, the clown that's crying on the inside.
What kind of clown are you?
I don't know. Crying on the inside, kind, I guess.
But that's true. I mean, a lot of them are fucking miserable and competitive with each other to like a ridiculous degree. Because there's all this money they think that's going to be out there. The funniest people don't always land. They don't always translate to a nightclub audience. And sometimes something's great in a nightclub and it doesn't translate to TV.
Yeah.
or like a 5-minute segment. There's some, I could tell you lots of people I thought were hilarious, and then they don't work on TV. Like Bob Rubin, I love.
Yeah. Bob Rubin does not translate to TV.
No, you just need like a few segments to figure him out, and then it's like, oh, that's what it is. And it's the old Rube's here. It's great, but yeah, there's certain. Oh God, Bobby Slayton, remember him? He was so acerbic and so grating.
And so much of what Tom Hanks is doing in this is that kind of comedy. It's like it's really fast. It's really mean. Really mean.
Oh yeah.
It's very
angry.
It's very angry. There's parts that are like nonsensical. It's just like he's just saying words that we're like supposed to think are funny, like something about a jackhammer and an ass. And he's like, tell me if any of this is turning you on. No, dude, it's not, because you're gross and scary and like I would, if I met Tom Hanks's character in real life, I would cover my drink.
You have to cover your drink, but I also would make sure my coat is in my hand. Like I would just make sure I could duck out.
Yes.
Like he's not sitting on my coat or he's like holding it someplace.
Yes.
I have to reach around him to get it. Like, I'm getting all the heebie-jeebies from creepy guys. But yeah, it's like that kind of humor was already on the out.
Yeah.
At the time. So it's just, comedians are miserable people, a lot of them.
Yeah, not all. Hashtag not all comedians, but like.
No, and we're talking about white men of this time.
There's
mainly.
definitely like they have like a nasty dark side. And like I haven't dated or had romantic relationships with full-on stand-up comedians, but I've definitely gone out with guys who maybe were adjacent to that, and they were funny with a fucked up dark side and just a pit of fucking need that I could never
There's a never-ending bucket of need. You could never ever be enough. You can never offer enough reassurance.
Yes.
You could never be emotionally available enough. You have to drop everything. And you have to put up with like really mean comments when they're just deflecting.
Yes.
I know, same. I mean, some people have become really famous that I've known, and deep down they're just bitchy, and a lot of them just don't like women. They don't want anybody that's different. Like on the one hand, they get really jealous of like, that one stole my joke, that one stole my bit, I was going to talk about that. But then if they have like they're on a bill with like a woman and a gay person and a this and a that, what's going on? This is woke. I don't want to, you know what I mean?
I'm like, go play Joe Rogan's comedy club and shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Yeah. Tom Hanks's character would absolutely go on Joe Rogan's podcast.
I just figure, I picture him with like Bill Hicks in like 1990, right? And they're just like becoming friends, and he's realizing like, oh, that guy's really smart, and that guy is like, right. And then he's like, I'm just kind of a goofball. What is happening here? But he would get or maybe he would get a series, but I think he would die of like a cocaine binge.
Probably.
Like that's,
which is depressing. Very depressing. But I think they could have made a good movie with that character if they would, first of all, acknowledge that he's really dark, and they do. They talk about how dark and fucked up he is here, but it's kind of played for laughs, and we're supposed to forgive it. I think there's a really really dark movie in here that could be made and could be really good, and there's a whole other movie that could be made with Sally Field's character that's more of a comedy, and this one is trying to have it too many different ways for me. They're
trying to get a romance. They're trying to still have that. These are such likable people. You want to end up liking them. If they had just made him like a total real prick all the way around, right to the bitter end, I think it would have landed better.
Yes. I think they also, and if they want someone who's a real prick, then maybe Tom Hanks isn't your guy. Because people like Tom. You just like Tom. Hot take, everybody. People like Tom Hanks. Like, you know, he could. He could. The Burbs is like right after this. It's so funny. It's like big. This movie, The Burbs. I think Joe versus the Volcano comes out not too long after this. Like, and then, and then we're all in. It's like you're on to Forrest Gump, and then it's, Castaway, and he's Tom fucking Hanks.
Yeah.
But he's just not the right person for this it's just too half-assed. It needs to be one or the other.
It's like the script is a problem, and it's a premise with like really great people, and you're just kind of like, oh, we'll just film it.
Yeah,
it'll be great, and we'll each give them a comic to like help them come up with some material, and by the time we get to filming this, it's going to be great.
Yeah,
and it's just like it's a big hot mess.
And I love John Goodman. I love John Goodman.
I'm all in with Goodman. I didn't even mind Candace Cameron Bure as a child. She didn't.
Nah, fuck that kid.
They're not the problem. No. They're not the problem.
No.
The problem is when you have a comedy and it's not funny.
Yeah.
You have a drama where I don't care about the people, and a romance. That's a really bad idea.
The romance is a bad idea. The drama doesn't work because it's not really that dramatic. You're like, get over yourselves, and then the comedy isn't funny. And John Goodman is. Again, if they just given us like a little bit more of the nice Goodman at the beginning so that we could understand more, because he is like you said, a fucking ogre at one point in this movie, and then at the end he's delightful.
He's like, let's come up with this idea and this joke, and we can do that bit, and this would be amazing. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to this family.
Yes.
It's a weird turnaround.
Yes,
he has.
The minute like. He just is like, can I come and watch you? And like the minute she says yes, there's a character switch is like goes off like a light switch, and he's like, now he's all in, and he's Mr. fucking supportive, and he laughs so hard at all of his jokes. And there's stuff at the end is so sweet where he's just like, you were so funny. Like, and she's like, I heard you laughing. And he was like, it was so good. Like, it's so cute.
It is cute.
It's adorable. Everybody drink. But but it comes out of nowhere. And I'm like, where was that guy?
Earned.
It's not earned.
No, it's not earned. There's a lot of mysteries. What happened to that third kid that shows up? Like, is she just like,
that's a whole other movie.
I mean, that really, I was saying, like, I've never noticed this before. She just shows up out of nowhere. That just goes, like, did she run away? Like, what happened? This woman really is a mess as a mother.
Yes.
She cannot keep things in check here. Yeah, it's not great direction. I mean, there's sometimes I got excited just because it's New York in 1988.
Yeah.
And I'm a New Yorker, so that was fun. But then there's stuff like, oh, that's LA. That's not even New York. That doesn't look anything like New York. So I think they probably should have set it in San Francisco.
That would have worked. San Francisco was a hotbed of comedy back in the day. Yep.
And they could have had, they would have all worked for free. Seriously, like all that crew. I knew them. They would have gladly have done that, and I think that may have been a more interesting backdrop.
Yeah,
maybe have Sally Field in that house.
I'm like, from Mrs. Doubtfire. Help is on the way, dear. She could play at that restaurant out in Danville.
Exactly. Go to Bridges.
Go to Bridges. She could perform at Bridges.
Y'all go back to that episode if you want to get to hear my rant, my bizarre East Bay rant.
The Sonia, Margot, and Adam are obsessed with restaurant Bridges out in like Danville. Remember when I drove by it on the bus? I was like, oh my God, you guys, I'm like 1 block away from Bridges.
We have to go the next time I get out there. We have to go.
We have to go. I'll drive. It'll be fine.
It'll be, So anyway, this movie, big stinkerino. You don't need to see it.
No, you don't. I think we were hoping that some of it would be good. We didn't watch it thinking it's going to be shitty. Like, we were hoping for some, we were like, oh, it's going to have some real insight into comedians, and we were very obsessed with comedians back in the day. Let's talk about it. And then we both watched it and we're like, wah, wah. Like,
comedy is not an art form that ages well.
Correct.
It does. And especially the edgy stuff.
Yeah.
Look, I'm the person that saw Mannequin and said, I'll watch this again every day, the rest of my life. Like, I'm not a snob, but I'm also just like,
we're not
don't
snobs.
Bullshit me. We're not snobs, but this is not it's way too long, and it's there's a lot of problems here.
Yeah. Do you want to hear about some of the other movies that came out in 88?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we've done 88 before a few times, so I've dug a little deep here. U2, Rattle and Hum.
Love.
I really like this. I know that
I was into U2.
I was into U2 back in the day, so I really like this one. Tapeheads.
I love Tapeheads. Mike Naismith.
I also like Tapeheads. I underappreciated. Or maybe it's perfectly maybe it's perfectly appreciated now, but it played at my theater. I really liked
Cusack,
it, and Tim Robbins, and nobody came to see Tapeheads.
Nobody saw Tapeheads, and they didn't even see it on VHS. Like, I don't know when it caught on, but yeah, I worked with Mike Nesmith, and he loved that movie. He was really proud of that movie.
Oh, well, he should be.
Yeah.
Without a Clue.
Oh, Michael Caine?
Yes.
Uh-huh. I was movies a lot. I had low standards, too. That's another thing. My standards were basement, and I didn't make this.
Imagine John Lennon.
Yeah, that's why I'm a Beatles geek.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Gorillas in the Mist.
Get off my mountain. Get off my commercial. My dad would yell that around the house. The commercial was on Sigourney Weaver. Get off my mountain.
Also, it's a perfectly fine movie. It's fine. But it's fun to make fun of.
I really love monkeys and apes, and I don't like to hear about them being hurt.
Correct. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Speaking of, The Last Temptation of Christ.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh, good times. What a great day at the movies. See Gorillas in the Mist and Last Temptation of Christ. Good times.
Never saw it. Sorry.
I did see it, and it is a very good movie. It's just I don't want to ever see it again.
Yeah, that's like that for me. Yeah.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe is very good as Jesus. I know. Apparently, I'm going to go to hell now.
Is he a sexy Jesus?
He's sexy Jesus. Jesus Christ. Damn. Jesus fucking Christ.
The 1-star reviews that we're going to get now.
Oh, boy. Shit. They wouldn't have made it this far.
No.
8 Men Out.
Love 8 Men Out. That's one of my favorite baseball movies.
Me too.
John Cusack.
Cusack again. Okay, 3 more. Vibes.
Oh, that's Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Bridges. Jeff
Goldblum.
Goldblum, that Jeff.
Yeah. I love that Cyndi Lauper wanted to be an actress for a hot second.
She should have kept at it.
She should have too. Whatever's wrong with Vibes is not Cyndi Lauper's fault.
No.
2 more. Colors.
Yeah.
Nightmare walking, psychopath talking. And then the last one, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Great movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but I really liked it. Michael Caine again.
Michael Caine, Steve Martin, don't take the cork off the fork. That's all I remember from Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
I remember that there's a great visual joke that's in the ad that's not in the movie.
I know.
It drives me crazy when that happens.
Yes. Where they're yes.
They knock somebody off a pier as they're walking by. It's really hilarious.
It's so
I'm like,
funny.
why don't they have this movie? Okay, are you ready for the top 10?
Yes.
You know what? Let's do top 12.
Yeah, let's do it.
Number 12, Sonia.
Mm-hmm.
Poison, Fallen Angel.
Fallen
Angel.
These are Margot's songs right here.
That's my song right there.
She loves that stuff.
We both love this. Number 11, Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel.
I love that. Don't be cruel. I love Bobby Brown.
Number 10, New Kids on the Block, Please Don't Go Girl. That's my favorite. I love that song.
My sister was a New Kids on the Block fan.
Yeah. Number 9, Information Society, What's on Your Mind?
Oh, I love that
Pure
song.
Energy.
Yeah,
boom,
I love that.
Boom, 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 boom. Pure Energy. Boom.
I love that one. I'm going to start dancing now.
Yep. Number 8, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, I Hate Myself for Loving You.
I still love that
Great song. Dope song. Number 7, Taylor Dane, I'll Always Love You.
I love Taylor Dane.
Me too.
Tell It to My Heart is my favorite.
Tell It to My Heart. Number 5, I don't remember the song. Peter Cetera, One Good Woman. That must have been a ballad.
You know what? If if I heard it, I probably know exactly what it is, but he wasn't my jam. So
No. Oh, forgot this one. I love this song. Phil Collins, "A Groovy Kind of Love."
oh, you couldn't get away from that song. It was such a hit from the movie Buster.
Buster, that's the movie. Number 4, Cheap Trick, "Don't Be Cruel." Oh my God, but it's a different one.
Don't be cruel.
It's the Elvis one. Yes. No, okay, talk about songs you can't get away with. Here we go. Number 3, Bobby McFerrin, "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
Oh, that song. That's one of those ones that the first time I heard it, I was like, that's cute. And then the second time you heard it, you were like, no. And then after that, it was, I'm going to drive my car off this bridge.
It was, I think, is he from the Bay Area, Bobby McFerrin?
I think he is. And it's probably another reason why we couldn't get away from it here.
And Robin Williams was in the video.
Yes.
And yeah.
Not good.
Wait, you hate that song, right? You really hate that song.
I don't like it. No.
Oh, no. Kokomo is the one you really hate.
Oh, no. I hate that song, too. There's a couple. Kokomo, "Don't Worry, Be Happy," and "What's Going On" by 4 Non-Blondes.
You hate that song?
Yeah. Or is it called "What's Up"? I think it's called "What's
Up."
Yeah. And "What's going on?" And I said, hey, yeah. No, I don't like it.
Gotcha.
But other people love it. Other people love it.
It's a uniter. It's a divider, not a uniter.
Yeah.
That song has camps.
Yes.
You know, people, right. Okay, number 2. Couldn't get away from this. UB40, "Red Red Wine."
Yes.
Originally a Neil Diamond song, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hot August Nights, y'all. Listen to that nonstop. My mother played that album, double album, till it was worn out. And then the number 1 song, October 4th, 1988, Def Leppard, "Love Bites."
I love Def Leppard. Love. Still love Def Leppard.
Love Def Leppard. I'm totally on board with the Def Leppard.
Same. Saw him in concert right before, not too long before COVID. Saw Def Leppard, and I think, oh my God, I think it was Foreigner. And shit, I don't remember
The
who the other
Knack?
one. No, it was like, damn it.
Night Ranger?
No, I don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I was really there for Def Leppard, but Journey. It was like
That's a good lineup.
It was a really good lineup. The best people watching, and a really great Def Leppard. Still fucking kills it. Like, they are dialed in. Sorry, not sorry. They're great.
No, they're great. They could play. They were really talented music. And Photograph is like one of the best songs of all time.
That's my favorite.
Me too. Me too. But Pour Some Sugar on Me is fucking great too.
I love that one too. That's a great stripper song.
That would be my stripper song.
I do love that song though.
They're great.
What else? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I was going to ask you, what else are you dorking out about?
Well, so Below Deck is now Down Under again with Captain Jason.
Did that start today?
It started last week, so you have time to catch up.
Okay.
I think it's going to be on Peacock as well. It's on Bravo first, and then Peacock. Captain Jason, hot as fuck.
Yeah, I will be.
They
I will
have
be
him in a
catching
Speedo
up.
this year. We saw the previews. Yeah,
Shut up. Okay,
it's some zaddy stuff, y'all. It is. Whew. And it looks like this crew is nutty and great, and it's Australian reef. It's just it's got cooking, it's got travel, it's got asshole guests. It's everything I want in Below Deck, and with hot people.
I will
else?
be catching up on that one for sure.
Yeah. Real Housewives of New York has the new crew.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch the second episode tonight. I'm a little behind.
Yeah,
I
me
was
too.
watching this last night, but I like Jenna.
Jenna's she's my favorite so far.
Same. So we'll see if that stays. Also, Lou and Sonia, Crappy Lake. That show is just magic in a bottle. It is 22 minutes of bliss.
It is.
It's funny. Funny.
You perfectly described this to me off mic when you said it was a horny Laverne and Shirley.
Yes. It's a super horny Laverne and Shirley.
Yes.
They're just out to get the big D wherever they are.
Yes.
If they get laid, they can handle anything. You can take away all of the things in life that make them happy and comfortable. They don't give a shit.
Yes.
They just are looking for some dudes.
They picked the right two housewives for this.
Yes.
They are delightful. They are such good sports. They are very kind to the people in this town. Like, they're not showing up and being shitty to people. They're being very nice to these people. And in turn, the people are being very nice to them. And they're just being themselves and being all ridiculous and just saying yes to things and to people.
And to people.
You know, and it's very entertaining.
It's just a goddamn delight. It's a horny Laverne and Shirley. I just love it. And then
The Simple Life meets Schitt's Creek.
That's exactly it too. That's a really good way of putting it. And I love The Simple Life. Like, I think people don't remember, especially the early seasons or the early part.
The first
they were
season?
so sweet. Those girls were sweet.
The first season of The Simple Life was really funny.
Yes.
And that one was Nicole Richie was the one that was like a really good sport, and like she was hilarious.
They had a good friendship. They were funny together.
Yeah.
And even they were like, please and thank you. And they had like decent manners, but they were also like, want to get in a threesome with that guy? Like, ha ha ha. It's that same thing. I don't care. It just makes me laugh. Yeah. And then finally, so HBO, Max has Superpowered, which is a documentary about the DC universe.
Oh, I don't know.
And I'm normally a Marvel kind of chick. I think it just happened. So, but that's on Max. It's like 3 episodes. I do love Wonder Woman. You know, I'm a big Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Well, me too.
I'm all Linda Carter and Gal Gadot. They're my Wonder Women.
Yeah.
But I love the Batman story and Superman and all that crap. So I guess I do like DC. I always thought maybe I'm more of a Marvel chick. But anyway, so that's really good. And then I saw John Wick 4. I think it was 4.
How is it?
It's a big shoot 'em up. Keanu Reeves had to be fucking exhausted when he was done shooting this movie because he is in action. Mm-hmm. He's throwing people or they're throwing him. He's dodging bullets and cars at the same time.
Wow.
It's a great cast. I have no idea why it's long as it is, but for me, it was like Friday night. They had a storm here. I had my wine. I put this on. It was great. And Keanu's just never been dreamier. He's just...
We love him. We love him.
Yes.
That's still on my list.
Yeah.
I will definitely be watching that one.
And no, I could not get into Barbenheimer this weekend.
Same. So
we were saying, like, off the mic, like, I live in New York, she's in San Francisco. Like, the thing about moving to a big city is you think like everything's available to you. No, all the good shit's like gets filled up right away. So that's like restaurants and that's movies and plays and all the things you want, concerts, all the things you want to do. Like, we basically have to leave town to do them. I mean, in the suburbs, y'all can walk in off the street and see Barbie. That is not the case in New York, believe it or not.
Yeah, it is sold out here. Except for like morning shows, and I'm like, I can't justify a day off from work to see Barbie. So also I had my kid, and disappointingly he is not interested in watching Barbie, and Oppenheimer is inappropriate for my 11-year-old. So I'm going to be seeing that one.
Mom, what happens to all those people when that thing goes
Look,
off?
there's just some things he doesn't need to see. So
right.
I am going to go see it though, and I'll report back, and I'm sure Margot will finally get a chance to.
I may sneak away for like an 11 a.m. show if I.
The reviews are great.
They're all my friends that have seen it. The people that I'm friends with, but I don't really respect their opinions that are sort of being negative. I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't like anything.
Yeah.
So the people I respect and I like all said it's super fun and they had a good time. And I was saying to Sonia off the air, in Brooklyn, Greta Gerwig came to the Alamo Draft House last Friday and showed up to thank people for being supportive, which is just it's so amazing.
That is so
She's
cool.
awesome.
She is awesome. Yeah. I am looking forward to watching it. I'm excited. I didn't get to watch too much. I did see Real Housewives and Lake Crappie, so that is seconded by me. But I did get a chance to watch on Shudder, which is the horror streaming network, because it is Shark Week. They have a documentary called Sharksploitation, and it's all about like shark movies. And
is your friend in it?
He is. My friend who did the Sharknado movies. So he is in it. But it's really about how Jaws changed the game. They do talk about like movies that were made before Jaws, but it's mainly like Jaws and then like everything else that happened afterwards, and about like why we think sharks are so scary, how some of these other movies were filmed, about the other Jaws movies, because people like, we all talk about Jaws, like the big one, and then like nobody talks about like 3 or 4. So.
I like the second one fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch it. But the third one's in 3D, right?
Yeah, it's terrible.
And that's with Dennis Quaid and Leah
Thompson.
Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one is the Richard Jenny has the whole routine about, because that Jaws, this time it's personal.
Yes.
And it basically follows the mom from America to the Caribbean.
I kind of think we should talk about like 3 and 4 sometime, because
I'd be into that.
3 was on HBO all the time when I was a kid. I've seen.
Maybe we do that with Adam.
I'm like, if he wants to, I'm like, I would be into it. Like,
yeah,
we'll
see if it's playing. Yeah,
that would be good. So anyway, Sharksploitation is on Shudder. It is super interesting. Like, I like those documentaries on Shudder, so I think it's very cool, and it's very appropriate for Shark Week. So,
who are these shark people?
Who are these shark people? And there's some insight into those movies that they make on the Sci-Fi Channel, because they really do, like, they just come up with the names and then they work from the name, which
that's a great writing assignment.
Shouldn't surprise me, but still kind of surprised me. Like, of course Sharknado started with the name. I should have known that. Like, or Sharktopus.
There's a Sharktopus?
There's a Sharktopus. There's one with like a shark and an octopus. There's another one with like a shark with 6 heads.
I thought it was like a shark with like a cat whiskers and button nose.
That's adorable.
You poop that shark nose.
Boop. I got you, shark. Boop. You put out a little litter box for it.
I love it.
It's so cute.
Land shark.
Actually, I'm just a dolphin, ma'am.
Candygram. We are going really old references there.
Yes,
y'all.
we are. Look it up, folks. Look it up. Ask your parents about old SNL.
Who are those people?
It's the Punchline. It's making me want to just talk like Jerry Seinfeld. Margot, where can they find you?
You can find me. Well, so I don't know if you heard, but Twitter's turning into X, apparently.
Ugh, whatever.
This man is exhausting. So while Twitter exists, wherever we are when you listen to this, I would be at Brooklyn Margot. I'm Brooklyn Fit Chick for Threads, for Instagram. That's also my site. And then I post shit on TikTok, and a lot of it, either my adorable kitty cats that are
everybody drink.
Sonia, they're friends. They're like
so cute.
They love each other.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. Or I also put movie clips in there, and I've got a few of the Punchline clips on there that. Yikes.
You're really taking a hit for the team on that one, Margot.
This is what I forgot to tell you. I took a clip, but it was from the movie where it basically says, tonight, cable show tryouts. Like, what?
Ooh.
This is New York City, and that's on your fucking billboard. Like, what? That's your signage?
Cable show tryouts. I hope they feature the winner of an Ace Comedy Award.
I'm gonna sign up for the audition right here. Anybody can win to be on TV.
Audition
on the cable show.
So hilarious. The movie is quite the time capsule.
It is.
You can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter, if it exists, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, all the things. Dorking Out Show is at dorkingoutshow.com, and you could email us at dorkingoutshow@gmail. If you give us your address, we'll give you some stickers. We also take requests. So Dorking Out Show on Facebook, on Twitter, on Threads. Send us your ideas. Again, we like requests. Please do. Leave us a review. That would be great. It helps us find our people, and it offsets the review from people who go, I don't like that they made fun of Punchline.
It's my favorite movie. There's two idiots who don't know what they're talking about.
It's hilarious. What is it on with these people? Thanks for talking about Punchline with me, Margot.
Thank you, Sonia. And I'm gonna head off to